Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Real Ones. So, funny story, I was meant to have someone else on and he cancelled me like a few days ago. So I called Carly in a panic and I was like, you need to come, please help. And she's like, sure, I don't have the kids that week, so it works for me. So thank you for coming, super last minute.
It's so nice to be here.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I know that's like the worst question ever. But...
I thought you were going to lead. Okay.
No, this is about you.
Okay. My name is Carly. I am 43 and I'm a mom of 4 beautiful children, the oldest being 17 and the youngest being 8. I have been divorced from separation till now, about 6 years.
Crazy. Do you also
Which
count
is
your divorce
crazy.
from your separation?
Yeah.
I also do.
I do,
Yeah.
because you can't count it from when you
Some
actually
people
got
count it
divorced.
from when they get their get or like their legal divorce.
No, for
I
me,
also count it from the separation.
it's from when everything kind of fell apart, when actually we were not living together, and yeah, it's about 6 years.
Wow.
Which is crazy how quickly it
Yeah.
goes, and there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you feel like you started seeing the light? Was there like did it happen gradually or do you feel like there was a specific moment that happened?
Well, we're going to get into my story.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't exactly...
Right, it wasn't a normal
It was very
situation.
gradual because there was a lot of layers and lots of stuff,
Right.
as is everyone's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But I'd say the last like year, 2 years, I feel that everyone, me and my children, have kind of settled and we're good.
Okay.
So maybe the last 2 years. Yeah,
Right, because
yeah.
what people don't realize is it's not just you in the divorce. Like the kids also go through their stages and their grief,
Correct.
and sometimes at different times. So like you might be okay, but when one kid's not okay, you're not okay either. So
Correct. And every child is a different personality, and they deal with things differently.
yeah,
So yeah, so it does. It takes time.
yeah, for sure,
Takes
makes
time.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into your story, but before that, what was your life like?
A Jewish mom in Joburg. What can I say? I don't know.
So British mommy,
Yeah.
driving around doing lifts, basically.
Driving around, doing my lifts, working. Sorry, I've got something in my
No worries. Do
in
you
my
want to
throat.
drink?
I'm an audiologist, so I was working and being a mummy, which is something that I always wanted to be, and is my main work, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, just general
normal
life, trying to fit everything in, trying to survive. Obviously, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors generally, but
But on the outside, you just looked like a normal
yeah,
Jewish mommy.
correct, doing my
Raising your
thing.
kids, doing your thing. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and then tell us what happened. Tell us your story.
So, I got separated in April of 2020. People think that because of COVID, everyone's marriages kind of fell to pieces. But I think for most people, things are happening
Before.
you know, and I don't feel like it was COVID that made it happen. But, yeah, that was the story. And then in October of 2020, I actually got poisoned, which is a crazy, mad story.
And not food poisoning, like actual poison.
Like actual poison.
Yeah.
Like organophosphate poisoning.
Is that rat poisoning? What is that?
That's rat poison. They also use it in the fields to kill insects and stuff like that. But in South Africa, they also sell it in like the townships and...
So it's like quite easy to actually get.
Yeah, they call it two-step. And yeah, you can
Two-step and
buy
done.
it like 2 steps and done.
Oh
You
my
take
gosh.
it. Yeah. So for me to actually survive and be okay is miraculous because a lot of people do not survive from it.
Crazy. Okay, so tell us about that
I'm
day.
nervous.
I'll show you. Don't be.
Okay, so it was Erev Shabbos. And
What a great day for that to happen.
I feel like my kids always like say like everything that happened always happened on Shabbos or Erev Shabbos. And it's interesting because you can think to yourself like why Shabbos? Like why Erev Shabbos? Like Hashem, why? But then you can also think of like Shmira. So you don't know what was going to be, and
Right. maybe Shabbos actually protected you.
correct.
Yeah.
Maybe things were better because it was Erev Shabbos or Shabbos.
Right.
So, yeah, I went about my day. I drove all over Johannesburg, went to work. It was the first Shabbos that I was going to be back at home. Since I'd got separated, I was going to my mother, who lived in Sandton a little while
How long
away.
had you been separated when that all happened?
So I got separated in April, and this happened in October.
Okay. So it wasn't straight after. You've
No.
been separated for a few months. Okay.
Yeah. So it was quite a big deal because I was going to be at home, and something happened the night before on Thursday evening. I don't want to get into too many details. Just 2 weeks before my daughter's bat mitzvah, and I was quite like devastated about something. And I said to my mother, you know what? I need to see my psychologist. I just need to see her before Shabbos. I just need to like get some things off my chest. I'm not happy. And so I said to her, can you just fetch my children from school? And I'm going to go to this like emergency appointment with my psychologist that I need. And she said, sure. And she came to my house, and I was quite upset from the night before when my maid had said to me, this is South Africa, for people who don't know, we have help. So generally she was not live-in, she lived out. But I'd asked her to stay in this weekend, this Shabbos, because it was my first weekend back. I had small children, my kids were 12, 10-ish, like 6 and 2 at the time. And I asked her to stay in to help. Anyway, so I was feeling quite like upset about it, and she said to me, can she make me a cup of tea? And I thought to myself, oh, so nurturing, so nice, you know. And she made me a cup of tea. And then my mother said to me, I actually remember saying to her, oh, I don't feel so well. And I was trying to pack for my little boy, for my 2-year-old, and I lay down on bed, and I was like, oh, I'm not feeling great. Anyway, I drove to my psychologist, and when I was there, I wasn't feeling well. And I used to get cluster migraines, so I used to start feeling a little bit out of it, a little bit of an aura. So I said to her, I think I've got a migraine. So I went to the toilet, and I came back, and she told me this actually afterwards. When I walked back, I kind of held onto the doorpost. And then I said to her, I'm not feeling good. And she said, just lie down. So I lay down. And I don't remember anything else from there. So this is what she told me afterwards. So it's so funny. As I'm talking, you can probably hear I'm quite nervous. Not nervous, I get so it only started happening to me recently that I get almost a visceral reaction in my body when I speak about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Like PTSD?
But I don't have PTSD from it. I'm very resolved with it. I speak about it all the time, and I could speak about it all the time. Only recently, it's my body's saying, hold on 1 second, I think we remember something.
Wow.
And it's interesting, I think it's only now that everyone else and everything's kind of settled that kind of happens.
That's so interesting.
It's very weird.
Now your body's wait, what about you? You made sure everyone else is okay.
Yeah,
But you went
actually,
through
you
some
think you're
stuff.
fine, but maybe you're not.
Maybe you're not.
Oh, no. I don't. No, I am. I really am. Oh. So my psychologist actually saved my life. She has actually subsequently passed away. So this should just be in her honor, Jackie. So she phoned Hatzola straight away. She actually phoned my GP, and he said, no, I'm on my way, but phone Hatzola. By the time Hatzola came, I had no pulse, no heartbeat. I was going blue. I was sciatic. And they said, so they did
Resuscitation.
and they resuscitated me. Yeah. So interesting. I mean, they're so amazing, Hatzalah. Thank God for them, because they literally saved my life. They were there so fast. And they asked her if I'd taken anything, because I had a cardiac arrest. They can see from the pupils in your eye. For cardiac arrest and a heart attack are two different things. And they could see that I'd like maybe taken something.
That there was something in your system.
That there was something in my system. And they don't know me, so they don't know like what my kind of story is. When they asked my GP, he was like, I promise you.
She's not on anything.
She's not on anything. She hasn't
Just
taken
high on
anything.
life.
Yeah. But they actually gave me in the ambulance, they gave me something called atropine, which reverses the effects of poison. And that in and of itself also saved my life, and probably also saved some of my brain cells in terms of brain
Because if they would have assumed that it was something else, they might not have given you something for the
Correct.
poison. Wow.
Correct.
Crazy. How did it happen?
So she made me tea. Also, I had bought a salad that I had in my fridge that I used to get, which was a bulgur salad. And I said to my mother, so when my mother came to fetch my children, I thought, let me just eat something quickly. And I took out the salad, which had been sitting in my fridge, so anyone could have had it. And there were little looked like black sesame seeds, but not really. And I said to my mother, they've changed the recipe. There seems to be these black sesame seeds on top. And if you actually look at organophosphate, it is these little...
That's what it looks like, little black dots.
Little black dots. And they are totally dissolvable. So you can put them in anything.
And tasteless.
Tasteless, odorless.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you finish the whole salad?
No, I didn't actually. But I did drink the tea.
Did the tea also... Oh, the tea also had it in?
Well, the doctor said to my parents that I had a lot of it.
Okay.
So it couldn't have been accidental.
Yeah. So crazy.
So...
Oh my gosh.
And I think I'm a nice person.
You're a great person. What do you mean?
There wasn't people think, oh, maybe, there was this.
Did you hear any theories afterwards? Did people say to you crazy things?
Oh, crazy things. People thought mad things.
What's the craziest thing people said?
They thought that people start to watch too many Netflix series. And my poor ex,
Shame. Did people think it was him?
Yeah, and that wasn't everyone. Just get that out the way.
Yeah. You probably should have started with that.
Yeah, he is a good, kind man, and he would never do such a thing to me or
but
to
just
his
the
children.
timing was
The
really
timing
bad.
was just totally,
Yeah.
it was just what it was. People could think that I maybe tried to do it to myself.
Oh my gosh.
That could have been a theory, but people who know me know that would never have been a situation that would have happened. Yeah.
Okay, so take us back to... So they took you in the ambulance in Hatzalah to the hospital. And what happened then? When did you wake up?
Well, for 3 months in ICU. For 3 months. And you asked me when I woke up, it wasn't like the movies when you open your eyes and you're like, oh,
Here I am.
Here I am, and what happened? And oh my gosh. At all. I was really in and out of consciousness for a long time. I was heavily sedated, and I was on heavy medications. I was never in a coma. People think I was in a coma. I wasn't in a coma. I was just heavily medicated. And I don't know where to go from here. So I was in for 3 months. I remember bizarre things from that time. I remember my mother being there, people talking to me. I remember being tied up, actually, because obviously I was on life support. I was ventilated. So obviously when I started coming to a little bit, I would try and take out all my... I didn't know what was going on. You're very confused. So I remember thinking to myself, they're tying me down like a dog. I don't even understand, why they're doing this to me. And when I went back to the hospital afterwards to see everyone, I said, who tied me up? And they got like all like scared, and I was like, I'm just joking. They're like, you kick like a horse, they said to me. They used to say you've got Zulu legs. I got these strong legs. And they were right, because I used to do step classes. I literally did a step class like the day before.
So they had to tie you up, or else you would have been out of there. Yeah.
And I said to my mother, remember you holding my hand so tight? And she was like, I actually held your hand tight, she said the one time, because I asked them to untie you. And I wanted to like just hold your hand so that you wouldn't do anything.
But do you remember being confused and not knowing why she was holding your hand so tight?
Yeah, I just remember thinking, you're hurting me. Like, what?
It was that tight that it was like sore.
Like, why are you holding my hand so tight?
It must have been so crazy to not be able to say that, to say like, you're hurting me.
Yeah,
Like,
so
how
I actually couldn't speak until 2 weeks before I left the hospital.
So for weeks you couldn't speak?
Months I couldn't speak.
Did you feel trapped?
So I had a trachea. Eventually they put a tracheotomy in. I had a tracheotomy because I was on a ventilator for so long. So they actually had to put in a trachea. With a trachea...
For those who don't know, what is a trachea?
A trachea is they make a hole here in your trachea and they put a pipe in and attach it to the ventilator. So it doesn't have to go into your mouth. Mm-hmm. So when you see like people on life support, you see that it goes into their mouth. Mm-hmm. With the trachea, it goes straight into your lungs, into your throat or whatever.
Why do they do that? Is it better than going through your mouth?
I don't know. Okay. I think once it's a bit longer than however.
They can't have it too long in your mouth, so they have to.
Yeah.
Hectic. Wow.
Yeah. So I actually had a trachea put in twice because 2 weeks into my stay in the medical ICU.
First day.
Yeah. I had another cardiac arrest actually. So I was actually doing better. Apparently I was like sitting in a chair. I don't remember any of that. And I was doing better. And then they think that when they bathed me or something, they did something and I got an air bubble, they think, in my lungs. And it caused me to have another cardiac arrest, actually.
But you don't remember that cardiac arrest?
I remember feeling I can't breathe.
Okay.
It's like a feeling of you can't breathe.
That's scary.
It's like a panic. But I can't
Did you
remember
feel like you were dying
properly. I didn't know what was going on. And I at the beginning, you don't really know what's flying. I just remember lying there and just thinking, everyone's touching me. Just leave me alone kind of thing. Yeah.
So do you remember bits and pieces from it?
I remember bits and pieces. And as I got better, I remember more. And I was very conscious. I would watch everything that was going on in the wards. I would just sit there with my eyes huge.
Could you move your head or not?
Not really. And then
I would just see whatever was.
I would get scared if I moved. Then I would move my trachea. I'd move the ventilator. I wasn't quite sure.
Okay, so you actually tried to just stay still.
Yeah, and a lot of I had lots of from the hectic medications that I was on. I had lots of hallucinations.
Oh wow.
I also had seizures.
Oh my gosh.
I had grand mal and petit mal seizures, and I actually remember having seizures. That I remember getting so hot, and then having a seizure. I'd get boiling, and you almost feel electric.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember sometimes after having the seizure that my hands were totally. I'd make these fists, and I remember thinking Harley, just open your hands, try and open your hands.
And you couldn't?
I couldn't really do anything. When I had after my second cardiac arrest, I was very, very, very weak. Very weak. I couldn't even do anything. They would say to me, the speech therapist would come and she would show me how to do a thumbs up, or to shake my head if I wanted no or yes. Wow. And I really
Did you feel like a toddler that was you were learning how to do everything from scratch?
I didn't feel like a toddler, no. I just knew I was weak and I knew I was ill and I didn't know what I had. I didn't know what was wrong with me.
Oh, at which point did you figure out that it was
I
poison?
can't remember
Really?
when I was told that it was
So you were just in the
poison.
hospital and you didn't know why?
I had a lot of hallucinations about poison, which is
that's so
really, really interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of my hallucinations, there were people being poisoned. I had crazy hallucinations that I probably needed more therapy for than actually being in hospital and nearly dying, because they were so real and so intense. My neurologist said he used to see my eyes go huge, and I was just like watching something. Everyone was dying and coming back to life. There was like huge TSMA. It was crazy, crazy stuff. I started thinking to myself like, geez, Carly, you're subconscious. Like,
Very
what
creative, yeah.
happened? You know, people would come and visit me and I'd be like, but you did. Like I couldn't speak. So also what happened was I had a hole in between my esophagus and my trachea. It's called a tuff. I'm actually a speech therapist. I'm actually a speech therapist and audiologist. That's my profession.
So you knew everything that was going on.
Yeah. So I mean, I like knew kind of what was happening. And it's funny, you must be careful what you say, because when I was at university, I'll never forget learning about trachees and thinking to myself, I will never work with trachees, and God forbid I ever have one. I'll remember that forever, that I thought that in my head. And there I was lying.
And you're like, good
With
thing I
a
paid
trachea.
attention to that class.
Careful what you say, guys. Words are powerful. So I couldn't. So with a trachea, what can happen is they can fenestrate you, meaning they can make it that you can actually eat and speak with a trachea.
Oh, wow.
But when they tried to fenestrate me, I couldn't breathe. I stopped breathing. So they realized that there was a hole between my trachea and my esophagus. Also, I was getting lots of fevers because I was aspirating, which means if everything was going into my lungs. So if they tried to give me a little bit of yogurt or a little bit of something, it would go into my lungs. So I couldn't.
So you couldn't eat, you
or
couldn't speak.
No. The only time that I had a little bit of kind of sound was when there was like secretions on my trachea,
Crazy.
which is crazy.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, so I was being suctioned and all those things the whole time I was there. Only 2 weeks before I left was I able to have surgery with Dr. Dayal, who is an ENT at Mill Park. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. And he was so kind, and he spoke to me. So because I couldn't talk, people didn't realize that I was there. Actually thought that I had ALS.
Wow.
Because I didn't know what was wrong with me. So I thought that was what was wrong with me, because I was
It's so
mentally
crazy to me that they
fine.
didn't tell you what happened.
No,
Like, that they didn't update you.
Yeah, and also it's a crazy story. Because I was like lying there and just watching everything around me, and like I saw all the different things that were hanging, and the one said like it was like something hanging with the antibiotics and the saline, whatever it is that's hanging with all the tubes and everything when you're in hospital, and the one thing was like nutrients for like compromised people. So I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I've had a blood transfusion and I've got AIDS. I didn't know what was wrong with me. So
Were you just lying there thinking like, do I have AIDS? Do I have
what is even wrong
ALS,
with me? Like, I
AIDS? Which
don't
one
have a clue what is wrong with me.
That's so crazy.
All I knew was that like I couldn't
You knew
move.
something was wrong.
I knew something was
didn't
wrong.
know
Like
why.
I couldn't move, and I when I was getting better, I could use a communication board. They used to bring me paper and pen. Okay, and I would pick up the pen, and I didn't know how to hold it.
Oh my God.
And then they'd try like give me something to write, and it'd be like.
No.
So the part of my brain that was the most affected was my occipital lobe, and that is spatial planning and all that kind of thing. So I had to learn how to write again, and learn how to do lots of things, like all those things that you do with kids in OT. That's what that I was doing.
Wow. And speaking, did that come back normally?
So speaking, when they did the surgery and they repaired the hole between my esophagus and my trachea, and I could speak straight away. And I'll never forget speaking to my dad. He just started to cry. And my children, and they, just like screaming, because I never actually spoke to them or saw them for 3 months because of COVID. Wow. And I really didn't want them to see me like how I was. Yeah. So
crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I could speak for hours on this. There's so many levels and so many things that were so miraculous throughout my time there. So I don't know where you want to go for our last few minutes.
I want to maybe just ask you, because I remember you shared your story on a Zoom, and I remember it was so packed that there was this waiting list. It was full to I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah. And I was crazy. Oh, I got lucky, I got in, and I was able to hear you speak. And I remember you saying how your relationship with Hashem changed so much throughout that, and because it was the only thing you could do. I just remember that.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about?
So I used to just speak to Hashem. That's all I did. At the beginning, I could remember certain tefillahs, and I could remember certain tehillim. By the end, all I could remember was Shema. And I just used to say Shema over and over again and talk to Hashem and just dive in and just ask him just to let me be with my children.
Was that the hardest part, was being away from them?
That was the hardest part. That was the hardest part, because I was such a solid rock for them, and then I wasn't there anymore.
Were they with your parents?
They were with my parents.
And their dad?
And their dad a bit, yeah. So for me, that was the hardest part. So when I came back and I came home, they kind of were so held by the community and by everyone. It was just insane and phenomenal what went on while I was ill. How strangers just rallied around my children and my family. But when I came back, I feel like my kids were holding it together, and as mommy came back, everyone just kind of
fell apart.
And I was not 100% yet. But so I really didn't get a chance to heal myself for long, because mommy was back and I was there to be with my kids. But Hashem was with me the whole time, and I'm so thankful that my emunah in Hashem was something that I was born with from a little girl. I didn't grow up religious, very traditional, but I always had such a connection to Hashem, and I spoke to him from a little girl, and I do believe that is a gift that Hashem gave me. Emunah was a gift that Hashem gave me so that I could deal with all the things that had been thrown in my direction, and that everything is from Hashem. Even when things look so bleak and so dire, we have no clue. We do not know why. All we can do is deal with what we've been given. That's it. That's it. And one day at a time, and with humor and learning to laugh at yourself. I can tell you some really funny. I can tell you some really funny stories about me and my journey and things I had to learn how to do again. I'll tell you one funny thing. My best friend came, she sent me a computer to use while I was in hospital, while I was in rehab. She had maybe just watch something just to kind of get your... So I got myself onto the floor, which was an interesting thing, because when I first went to rehab, I thought, okay, well, everyone's left me now. Now I need to unpack. And I was like, okay, let me sit down on the floor. And I got down onto the floor and realized that I couldn't get up off the floor. Gosh. I was weak. My whole body had to learn how to walk again. I kind of shuffled for a long time. Every time I take the stairs, I'm like, just take them just for fun, because I know I can. But I had to learn how to get onto my stomach and roll over and how to kind of get up. But anyway, so with this incident, I was on the floor. And I was speaking to her on the phone, and I said to her, we were in tears laughing because I couldn't put the plug inside the wall. I had no idea how to turn it or how to put it in. And still today, that's like the one thing I like. If a plug is at a weird angle, I'll like look at it and think like, how do I, put it in? I couldn't, it was, I had 4 children. When I came back, I couldn't dress my little boy. I couldn't put in his nappy the right way.
Wow. So like all little things that we take for granted.
Take so for granted. Like putting a pot in an espresso machine.
Wow. And now when you do those things, are you so proud of yourself? Are you
it's like,
look at you, Carly, I put a pot in.
My father came into the kitchen and he saw me with the pot and I'm like looking at it and I'm trying to put it in and I could see shame. I could see his face being like, oh my gosh, you can't even put a pot in the machine. And he's like, Carly, look at me, turn it towards yourself and put it in. I was like, Carly, turn it towards yourself, put it in. So every time I put in the pot, turn it towards yourself, put it in. So I had to
you got through it with like humor and just laugh at how ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so me and my friend, I was talking to her on the phone and we were crying with laughter because I was like, I had to call the nurse to like plug in the computer so that I could just like watch something. But yeah, so I had to learn how to do everything again. Everything. So every small step was winning. And I'll never forget all my therapists saying to me at rehab, I had to have speech therapy, OT, physio. The main thing was OT. And with the other stuff, they were trying to get me back to myself, really. And they said, usually it takes about 2 years. And I thought to myself, 2 years? That's a long time before I feel like okay. Yeah. And I'm telling you, 2 years. And I started working again. Wow. And still going, I still went as an outpatient for a while, but eventually I stopped. And I was okay, and I am okay, thank God. And
you're more than okay. You're amazing.
And that is the miraculous part. My neurologist said to me, what he sees on the scans and how I am don't match.
Really?
Wow. And he said that the brain is an amazing organ that can only come from Hashem, that we don't know how it works, and that we're born with all these neurons that are kind of waiting if needed. And that's why rehab and these things work, because they regenerate and reconnect. So I am blessed and fortunate and thankful every single day. And we could talk for hours because I can tell you all the esoteric and weird and wonderful things that I saw that I had to clarify with the Mukobal because I saw such crazy things. I just want to make sure what was kind of hallucination and what was real.
Wow.
So that was pretty wild. Crazy. So that we could do another day.
Yeah. Part 2, near-death experience.
Part 2.
The afterlife.
Yeah, the afterlife. We can tell you all about that. Been there, done that. But it wasn't my time to go. The tefillahs, the changing of my name, the army of people that davened for me, that was that. And the fact I feel that I was needed, that it just wasn't optional.
Yeah.
I say that, but there are people that pass away. I had one of my best friends was struggling with cancer at the time, and she passed away about a week or 2 weeks after I gave that talk.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And she phoned me, and she told me how she was davening for me when I was ill. Her neshama just have an aliyah. Leanne. But she said to me, "Did you ever ask why me?" And I said to her, Lee, like, why not me? I don't know why. Hashem decided that this had to be me that had to go through this. Yeah. And life can change just from one moment to the other. But it can be okay as well. And people have inner strength that they don't realize they have, and no one should ever have to go through sorrows to have to access that. But if you do,
It's there.
It is there. I know people
We're
say,
so
oh,
much stronger
Hashem
than
doesn't
we
give you
think.
things that you can't handle.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Get
I'd rather
horrible
you think
things.
I'm weak.
I'd
Yeah.
rather, so when I dive in now, and I dive in for closest to Hashem and for growth, but I always say not through sorrows. Let it just be through goodness.
Yeah.
And let my children not grow and become resilient because of suffering, but because of
Good things.
good things.
Yeah.
Good things. That's all we can do, because we don't know Hashem's plan, and we don't know the reasons for stuff. But there is, and one day we will.
Yeah.
But for now, we just have to kind of
Keep going.
keep
And hope for the
going,
best.
do our best, enjoy life as we can and when we can, and be with our families.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Thank you for sharing
Such a
your
pleasure.
story.
Such a
You're
pleasure.
so
Thank you for
amazing
having
and
me.
so strong.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one.